Previously, we stopped here in this digital notebook. Structural features on one side, language features on the other. Today, we resolve the confusion around them. Which do you think is more important? Most assume language features, thinking complex vocabulary is the key to high marks. Look at how a house is built. It begins with a strong concrete foundation and solid brick walls. These are structural features, providing shape and bearing the roof's weight. Next, we add vibrant paint, curtains, and lights. These language features decorate the space. You wouldn't want to live in a house with beautiful furniture but no walls protecting you. And a house with strong walls but bare concrete floors isn't very functional. Exceptional writing demands an equal partnership. You need a solid structural foundation decorated with precise language. Let's look at a real exam prompt. Write a magazine article on the importance of reading. Your first instinct is probably to immediately start writing. Stop. That's what amateur writers do. Professionals follow a different rule. They start thinking. They use a logical thinking sequence, which you can see in this vertical checklist. First, identify your purpose. Second, determine your audience. Third, brainstorm your content. Fourth, plan your structure, those heavy brick walls. Fifth, choose your language, the paint and curtains. And finally, edit. I want you to read through that 6-step checklist on your own right now. We are going to make this sequence a permanent habit. Let's test this habit immediately. We're going to apply this exact 6-step checklist back to that magazine article prompt. Pause the video right here. Look at the prompt in the center of the screen, use the timer, and mentally answer all 6 planning questions before we move on. Following this specific sequence is the only way to ensure your writing remains coherent. It guarantees your language features actually have a solid foundation to rest on. So, we've covered the core concepts. Now it's time for our final rapid recap. I'm going to ask you a question, and I want you to answer it out loud. First, what dictates the reason we are writing? That is your purpose. Next, who are we writing the text for? That is your audience. What dictates how a text is organized? Those are your structural features. And finally, what dictates how ideas are communicated? Your language features. You know the definitions, but if I asked you to identify these features inside a real published piece of writing right now, you might hesitate, and that is perfectly normal. As this equation shows, knowing is not the same as applying. Understanding plus practice equals success. Think of it like a bicycle. Reading a physics book about balance will not teach you how to ride. You have to actually get on the bike and practice. Writing works exactly the same way. So to practice, we are going to analyze 3 specific formats: a story, a drama script, and a piece of poetry. In our next lesson, we are moving from definitions to execution. We'll open real texts, identify these features in use, and evaluate them from an examiner's perspective. Look closely, because as you're about to see, every single paragraph, sentence, and word serves a deliberate purpose. Let's open our first text.